I won't hire 50-year-old white guys. This is WorldWayde, and you're in Wade World. For those of you paying attention, we recently had a tragedy in the world where 4 guests paid $250,000 each to the CEO of a submarine that went down to see the Titanic. And it seems that the submarine got crushed, everybody died, and unfortunately, the pressure was so great that they were turned into a red mist. Like you can't find the bodies. In fact, the pressure was so great that where you are right now, if you are anywhere on the surface of the earth, the pressure where they died was 400 times more. The human body is not designed to sustain it. So you just get squished. And the way this works is that that sub is full of air surrounded by 400 times stronger pressure of water. So when the water crushes it, the air becomes compressed, lights on fire, and then you get squished. So you basically burn to death before getting turned into jelly, and so on. The arrogance and ignorance of saying the statement that the CEO of the submarine said, and he said it, it's on record in many videos, is I don't want to hire 50-year-old white guys. Why? Because he said when he started looking for people who are experts in submarines, all he found were ex-military, ex-submarine workers. Most of them were 50-year-old white guys. The stupidity of that statement is what happens when you let your ideology rule your decisions, and your ideology is divorced from reason and reality. He wanted diversity in the workforce, but it seems what he really wanted was nobody to question his incompetence. Now reports are coming in that he hired a director of safety or something and fired that guy in 2018 because, again, a white guy. Because that guy kept telling these people, like, yo, you are among 10 companies in the world that make submarines that go that deep, like almost like 12,500 feet deep, right? 4,000 meters deep, I guess, 4 kilometers deep. And the submarine is basically a shell, a steel shell. It can't be opened from inside. It has to be bolted down from outside because, again, just imagine, right? 400 times the pressure on every inch of your skin. 400 times. It's like if you weigh 200 pounds or 100 kilograms, right? 400 times would be 40,000 kilograms or 80,000 pounds. So imagine 80,000 pounds on every inch of your skin, right? 80,000 pounds is like multiple tractors, multiple trucks on every inch of your skin. So this idiot, the CEO, he fired the guy who kept telling them, like, yo, you need to get the safety rating for the ship properly. And he was like, oh, it stifles innovation. Like, dude, you can't innovate when the stakes are that high without thinking through it. It's like going into space in a cardboard box and saying it's innovation. Like, no, it's just stupidity. There are people out there who have done it and have tested the risks so you don't have to. There have been tragedies so you don't have to, and their deaths have taught us a lot of lessons. Innovation doesn't excuse stupidity. You're not being innovative, you're being stupid. You're not being progressive, you're being ignorant and idiotic. So that guy got fired, and he's told them specifically that, and this is the ridiculousness and the cheapness of these people, that there's a small window on the submarine, and it was rated for only 1,300 meters. He refused to pay for a window rated for 4,000 meters, where the Titanic is, at the bottom of the ocean. And the guy who got fired, he told him, like, yo, why don't you spend a little bit more money? You're making $1 million per trip. Stop being a cheapskate. Get a proper window. They fired him. And today, we sit here with a terrible loss of life. 4 visitors, they just want to see the Titanic. Of course, they took a risk, but still, man, if you take that kind of risk, you have some faith that the person who's doing it knows what he's doing. And I can guarantee you, none of this was stated. None of this was stated in the pitch that they tell their customers. Because money rules all, right? They're just greedy. They're like, oh my God, $1 million per trip. Even a kid died. And the only reason he went on the trip was because it meant a lot to his father. Come on. Father and son died. What was his mistake? What was his fault? Why should he have to pay for your idiotic decision to judge based on race and not ability? If the only people available in an area that you want to explore who are competent and experienced are white guys, or if they're not white, if they're black, if they're not black, if they're from some other race, who cares? Do the right thing. Stop thinking about dollar signs and your agenda, or get the hell out of the innovation space. It makes no freaking sense for you to be ideological and innovative. Look, ideology and innovation needs to be coherent. You cannot have an ideology based on feelings and innovation based on engineering, because feelings don't give a shit about engineering, and engineering and physics definitely don't give a shit about how you feel. 100%. Physics does not care. Biology doesn't care. Chemistry doesn't care about your feelings. So either leave your feelings at the door or get the hell out of the business. Go make some soft toy that are more in line with your feelings. Make a submarine pink soft toy. Make a soft toy for all the people who are not 50-year-old white guys. Don't make an actual submarine. This is what happens when nobody teaches you that life and reality have their own truth. You can have any ideology you want, but beware of the risks, because nature and physics has a very, very ruthless way of demonstrating whether you are right or you are wrong. If this idiot, who also died, by the way, if he had been more pragmatic, first of all, he wouldn't have done all this stuff, right? If he had been the kind of guy to do the stuff that we're talking about, this wouldn't have happened. But this is the danger that Wade is trying to tell you about, of following your ideology blindly, following your emotions and feelings blindly. Look, emotions can be manipulated and affected. Feelings can be manipulated and affected. Ideologies are literally built by smarter men than you. You follow them. But you know how those people got smart? Of course, there is a genius level intellect you're born with. But the smartest, the wisest people in the world, not even the smartest, are the ones who actually go out and apply their theories. For example, if you think that the sky is green, Go outside. Is it green? No, it's not. You're wrong. If you want to continue believing that the sky is green, that's your choice. But reality will prove you wrong. And reality doesn't care about your opinion or your feelings. So this whole tragedy meant so many people had to die. What was their fault? Nothing. They just wanted to see the Titanic. In a very risky environment, yes. An environment which is not made for human beings, yes. But all they wanted to do was have some fun, and they paid this dude like $1 million to die horribly in the dark. I mean, if you look at the level of stupidity is the only thing. Stupidity and obstinacy. This is the kind of stuff that destroys, and this is just an example, right? This kind of thinking of identity politics over ability, this is just the start. This is destroying the submarine, this will destroy systems, this will destroy everything because, again, your reality needs to understand that the actual reality is the master. It's on top of everything. If you think that you're Superman and you can fly, you can go off the top of the building and try that experiment. I'm not suggesting it. I highly do not suggest doing it. But if you think that your reality is stronger than reality itself, reality will give you a very, very bad reality check. And the thing is, and this is the sad thing, some people are so emotion driven, they are so messed up in the head, and no amount of medication and psychologists are going to help you with that. You need an actual support system. You need your family, you need your friends, you need to actually go out in the world, interact with people, interact with the world, right? Some people are so dug in to their feelings and their version of reality that they will go to their death and take others with them, as we have seen with this guy. Greed, ignorance, disrespect of the laws of nature and physics, and ideologies based on feelings rather than reality. These are the components of a disaster always. May the souls of all the 4 innocent people who died in this submarine rest in peace. They did not deserve this death, regardless of whether you like millionaires and billionaires or not. It doesn't matter. Because these kind of experiments, look, there are 9 other companies doing this. Hopefully they're doing it correctly, right? They are paving the way and exploring privately places that human beings can go to. And if they're successful, just like space, just like, back when cruise ships started, stuff like that, when they're successful privately over a longer period of time, they allow the technology to develop to the point that the average person can go down and then see the Titanic at a pressure of like multiple bulldozers or trucks on every inch of your skin, on every centimeter of your skin, safely. But that innovation has zero space for your feelings, your emotions, and your reality. And if you are stupid enough to still be obstinate about it, well, here's your proof. That's the future that awaits you. If the reality is too harsh for you, it doesn't, it hurts you and you don't like the way it messes with your version of rainbows and unicorns, get out before you kill yourself or everybody else. And if you are mature enough to understand that the reality of physics and the world is not dependent on what you think and feel might be right, and you can keep your feelings aside, put a level head, and take level action, then go ahead, be innovative. Be innovative without being ignorant. Be progressive without being emotional, and you will be successful. It's a big tragedy, and it could have been avoided, but greed, ignorance, and obstinacy resulted in this. If this message goes out to even a few people and they understand it and share it, it's common sense. It's common sense. This is not some huge philosophical thing. It's just common sense. The sky isn't green, it's blue. You can't breathe underwater without masks. You're not Aquaman. You can't fly off a building like Superman. It doesn't work. It's common sense. And it seems these days, especially in this age of ignorance, common sense is not so common. Until next time, keep it